Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. Here's more from the Associated Press on Obama's speech today out in Oklahoma. In his speech this morning, Obama said producing more oil and gas here at home will continue to be a critical part of our energy strategy. Will continue to be. This is the guy standing in the way of oil and gas production. This is the guy throwing money away on wind and solar and electric cars. I saw a story earlier this week. Will the Volt be Obama's Edsel? And then I thought, how many people reading that story know what the Edsel is? Will continue to be a critical part of our energy strategy. Obama producing more oil and gas here at home. This is what the Democrats do, folks. This is what the left does. There is no moral core. There's no concern for truth. There's no concern for being caught lying because Obama knows that his number one support group's not going to call him on it. The only people going to call him on it are people like me, and they're not worried about that. They've got the AP on their side. They've got the Washington Post, the New York Times. They don't care. But what it indicates, the good news about this is they know how deep the trouble Obama is in. They know how deep it is. They know the problems he's got. We got this 78% of the people following this want the Keystone pipeline, and Obama's in the 22% opposing it. And his 22% counts for 100% because he can stop it, and he has stopped it. So now he's out trying to make this little connection between Oklahoma and Texas appear to be the whole thing, having been authorized. They're in deep trouble. They have the support, when you boil it all down, of no more than 30% of the people of this country. When you boil it all down, Obama and the Democrats have no more than 30%. Why do they get more votes than that? Well, once again, how many people do you think are going to hear this stuff today and think it's true? He lies. The lie is carried forward. It's amplified and it's codified. Has the stamp of journalistic approval on it. It's true. So we're left to hope that people figure this out on their own. And therein resides the fear that people have for the future of the country. It's wrapped up right in that whole concept. Will a majority of the American people see through this, understand what we're dealing with, not just on the oil, gas, pipeline issue, but Obama and policy after policy after policy. Health care, you name it. Will the American people finally wake up? Are they waking up? Will they see through it? The 2010 election results say yes. They do. Let's go to the sound. Let's listen to some of this. It's unbelievable, folks. And incumbent in you listening to this is you must understand that for Obama to go out to Cushing, Oklahoma, and say what he said today, for the AP to write the headlines I've shared with you, they must believe that you're stupid. They are counting on your ignorance. They believe you're stupid anyway. Obama, leftists, Democrats have contempt for self-reliant average Americans anyway. They go into this thinking you're stupid. But you have to understand that for him to say the things you're going to hear him say, the foundation for this is that he believes you're so stupid and so gullible, and you're so ignorant that you will believe what he says about this.
Today I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape, break through the bureaucratic hurdles, and make this project a priority. To go ahead and get it done. Now, you wouldn't know all this from listening to the television set.
I'm sorry, but I can't let this thing go without stopping it. We're going to have, I guess, cue it back up to the top. I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape. There isn't any. To the extent that there's red tape in the Keystone pipeline, it's his. I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape, break through the bureaucrat hurdles. Who puts them up? Who are the bureaucrats? They're not private sector people, bureaucrats by definition. work for the government. They're his. I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape, break through the bureaucrat hurdles, and make this project a priority. It already was. It's almost already done. Okay, here we go. From the top again.
Today I'm directing my administration to cut through the red tape, break through the bureaucratic hurdles, and make this project a priority. To go ahead and get it done. Now, you wouldn't know all this from listening to the television set. This whole issue of the Keystone pipeline has generated, obviously, a lot of controversy and a lot of politics. Our experts said that we needed a certain amount of time to review the project. Unfortunately, Congress decided they wanted their own timeline. Not the company, not the experts, but members of Congress who decided this might be a fun political issue, decided to try to intervene and make it impossible for us to make an informed decision.
Now, that's the northern half of the pipeline. Again, remember, what he's out there taking credit for today was already in the pipeline. It was already in the work. He can't stop this, and he didn't have anything to do with approving it. There is no Keystone pipeline, folks. The leg from Canada to the United States still in limbo. He has not authorized it, and he won't until after he's elected. And now it's blaming this on Congress. They wanted it done within a certain amount of time. It's just every word of this. I have to find a different way of dealing with this. I have to find a different way of trying to persuade people. I have to find some. This has been doing this for 23 years, and these people, they keep getting away with this. Here's the next bite. They got 3 more to go. Here's the next one.
Today, we're making this new pipeline from Cushing to the Gulf a priority. So the southern leg of it, we're making a priority, and we're going to go ahead and get that done. The northern portion of it, we're going to have to review properly to make sure that the health and safety of the American people are protected. That's common sense.
Yeah, well, these pipelines rupture every day, you know. I mean, you heard about the pipeline that ruptured yesterday, right? Killed a bunch of snail darters. It seeped onto a Highway 70 in Missouri, and it just you should have seen a traffic accident. All the cars that slipped off the highway because these pipelines, they rupture every day. You know that, don't you? Now we got to be protecting the people and their safety and health because what's in that pipe? That's oil, that dirty, rotten, filthy stuff. Oil. Hey, we can't have it. This is such a crock. Here's the next bite.
If you guys are talking to your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your aunts or uncles, and they're wondering what's going on in terms of oil production, you just tell them anybody who suggests that somehow we're suppressing domestic oil production isn't paying attention. I want everybody to understand this. We use 20% of the world's oil. We only produce 2% of the world's oil. Even if we opened up every inch of the country, if I put a oil rig on the South Lawn, if we had one right next to the Washington Monument, even if we drilled every little bit of this great country of ours, we'd still have to buy the rest of our needs from someplace else if we keep on using the same amount of energy, the same amount of oil.
None of that's true, folks. We've had the documented stories with the facts this week and last and in previous days on domestic oil production. And here they are again. Domestic oil production on privately owned land where big oil has its rigs and smaller oil companies have their rigs. That oil production is way up. Oil production on federally owned lands is near an all-time low because that's what he has ordered. In addition, there are no permits being granted for private sector firms to go drill for, find, explore whatever oil on federally owned lands. The third thing is, with shale oil and its discoveries in the northern plains of this country, we now have, this 2% figure has been blown out of the water too, we now have accessible to us more oil than Saudi Arabia had. We now have accessible to us. I had the news in the Investors Business Daily. They got it from the Oil Institute. We have enough oil in the lower 48. Well, let's count Alaska in this. To provide enough oil at current annual consumption rates powered this country for over 200 years. That's how much oil we have. We wouldn't have to buy any. We wouldn't have to import any. He's very sensitive to this charge, oil production being down, and he ought to be, because it is down on land that he has control of. You guys talking to your friends and neighbors, co-workers, and you tell them anybody suggests somehow we're suppressing domestic oil, but they didn't pay attention. See, Mr. President, that's your problem. We are paying attention. And we know how you're making all this up. We know where the oil is being produced in this country and where it's being stifled by you. Come on, folks. You know that just 2 days ago and every day prior to that, this man has opposed oil with every fiber of his existence. He's opposed getting more of it. He's opposed finding more of it. He is opposed to using it. And now with a Gallup poll showing 78% of the American people paying close attention to this want the Keystone Pipeline, guess who's making it happen? When he isn't. That's right. Our brave, courageous president up against such mean people as Rush Limbaugh, overcoming profound obstacles put in his way by mean people like Rush Limbaugh. Yep. That's what he's fighting. Doing it for you. His logic here is just laughable. More oil won't help, or it will. Which is it? This is shifting now by the hour. On the one hand, he says we get all the oil in the world, and that we have all the oil we have, and we would still have to buy some. On the other hand, he's out there trying to take credit for the Keystone Pipeline because we need more oil. If all the oil we have would not change the equation, why? What's the whole point of this? More oil won't help, but he's got to go out to Oklahoma to take credit for getting more oil. How is this possible? Now, according to the Heritage Foundation, oil and gas production on federal lands under Obama is down by more than 40% compared to 10 years ago. And the year 2010 had the lowest number of onshore leases issued since 1984. And the Obama administration has held only one offshore lease sale in 2011. None this year. One more bite. Yeah, no, let's go to the break. That would be the responsible thing to do. We have sponsors who want their messages heard. Back after this. Don't go away.